Hey everybody, this is Jam from Not Casuals, and today I'm bringing you a guide about commanders, more specifically about the biggest mistakes that you really have to avoid and some of the most important tips that will let you get further for a lot less effort. So first, the most important and biggest mistake to avoid in Rise of Kingdom by far is to never ever level your commanders past level 10 before you have gotten their first skill at 5, which is the maximum of 1 skill. This is in order to make sure that their best skill, which is almost always their first skill, is 5 before you go further in. Especially for free to play players and especially for legendary commanders, you will very hardly be able to level up many legendary commanders, so it is very important that the ones that you get, you make sure that they're at least optimal. So as you can see here, my Caesar is level 1 and his skill is now level 5. So now I could technically go and make him a bit higher level. So let's get him level 10. Here you go. Now as you see, I can unlock the next star right here. And I can do so pretty easily here. I will just do it this way. There we go. Now level 20. Here you are. He can now go up to level 20 and his second skill is now unlocked. As you can see, if you did that at the beginning and you got him to level 10 really early on, you would now have two skills in which your sculptures would go into, and it could divide them up. Now, as I said, the first skill is always the best skill of almost every single commander in the game, which is why you always want to wait until you get your commanders higher than level 10. Once you've reached level 5, as we did with Caesar here, I've unlocked my Frederick. Now his second skill is at level 2, and I'm slowly working towards it. I'm not spending any sculpture on it, I'm just waiting for the golden keys. But this is the way you have to do almost every commander. As you can see, his skill, the number 1 skill, is definitely the best, and so is his second skill. If I had gotten him to level 20 already, this skill would also be unlocked. And then this is a very bad skill for Barbosa in the beginning. He's not the greatest. You would be wasting sculpture, and you could get unlucky and get 1-1-5, and then your commander would be useless for a long, long time. The only exception to this is for the legendary commanders that are gatherers. Now, this is Seondok, Ishida, and Cleopatra. They are not combat commanders. You will not use them in combat. Their first skill, while still good, is often very useless because all of their other skills are gathering. It's all about gathering troop loads, sieges. So the second skill is always the gathering skill. And as you can see, they are all for me unlocked up to level 10 with the second skill unlocked. And as you see here, I got 5-2, so I didn't get very lucky. But with Cleopatra, I got 4-4. And same with my Ishida. So you do want to level up to level 10, unlock the second star, and then only do these two skills until your gathering skill is at level 5, because that is what you're going to be using them to, and that is their best skill. But other than these three gatherers, every other commander, as you can see, here Mehmed is the best example, you want to wait until this skill is level 5 before I unlock this skill. And that is, without exception, something you should do for every commander, including epics. But epics, if you mess up, it's easy to catch them up because they are easier to expertise. Legendaries are very hard to expertise. So if you mess it up early, that commander will be unusable for a very long time. Now, for my second mistake to avoid, something that I see a lot of people do all the time is focus too hard on leveling up secondary commanders and spending time for their equipment and other things that are not necessary. So in this game, primary commanders, when you lead an army, are much more important than the secondary commander. As far as equipment goes, as far as talents goes, and as far as the troop capacity, which depends on their level, only the primary commander is taken into account. The secondary commander, the only thing that matters about them, as you can see here, Osman for me is a secondary commander. The only thing that matters is their skills. Nothing else. Their talents, their equipment, their level, nothing about them matters. So one of the tricks that I recommend is commanders like that will be secondary in your armies. Like for me, Richard, for now, I'm only using him as a secondary. I do not want to spend too much experience and time to leveling him up. So I have made him 4 stars at level 21 and I have unlocked all of his skills. Now, there is nothing else I need to do with Richard. Unless I want to use him as a primary, I never need to put any more XP tomes in him. I never need to put any talents in him. I never need to put any equipment on him. Now, the way that you get your commander to 4 stars at level 20 is quite simple. First, so you see this guy, he's at 2 stars, and I would like to get him to 4 stars to unlock all of his skills at once. Now, the way that I do this is that I try and bring this star as high as possible without it completing. So your luck chance means you can get double the XP. As you can see here, if I crit, I would get plus 80%. That would bring me at 90%. So that's somewhere that I want to be. I want to be at 90%. So let's try this one. See, boom, I crit. My luck chance was pretty bad there, but I still got a crit, so I got lucky. Now I'm at 90% for my own star, but I want to get this entire star here. So the way you do this is by using these stars, which give a lot more star power, or in this case, you give a lot more crit power. So let's see here. I will use these ones and this one. Here you go. So here, as you can see, I have 53% into this star, and I have 75% chance of critting. So I have 3 out of 4 chances of getting this full star completed, as well as this leftover. Now, obviously, if I don't get it, I don't get it, and I will need to bring this commander to level 30. If you have a bit more of these stars, sometimes you can trick it a little bit more, but it's still always a bit of a luck. So let's see if I'm lucky here. And there we go, I wasn't lucky. So now I would need to go here and get him to level 30, and then get his last star here and unlock his 4 skills. In the case of my Richard, I was lucky, and I unlocked all of it at level 20. So try and get your secondary commanders only to level 20 or only level 30. You never need to take them past that level. Otherwise, you're wasting a lot of XP on a commander that doesn't matter at all. His XP and his level will not matter. Here's another example. My Scipio, he's 4 star and he's level 20, and he's a secondary. Same thing happened here. Pelagus, 4 star, level 20. See all of these secondary commanders that I'm using, all level 20. Now look how many level 50s I have. I have so much more experience to span, and I have so many tomes saved up still that I have much stronger primary commanders, which means they can bring more troops, and they are much stronger in general. Also, you will not want to waste time building equipment or building talents of secondary commanders. As you can see, I focused most of my blue equipment on these two because they are my main leaders. And now my secondary commanders here, like they have a few items here and there, but most of them don't have much because they don't need much. It's completely wasted to have items on a commander that will not be a primary. Now for my third tip, I advise to be very careful on getting too many commanders at 6 stars or 5 stars because you will run out of stars. Right now, I could bring this Commander Joan, I could bring her to level 50 and I could unlock the last star, but I do not have enough stars. This level takes about 300 stars, both for epics and legendaries, and I don't have 300 purple stars right now. So it is very important that you focus on getting your major primary commanders to 6 stars and to level 50 or 60. It is much more beneficial to have 2 very strong rally or march leaders, such as these guys, than it is to have like 4 medium strong. So very much focus on a few commanders at a time. Don't waste your time trying to level up too many commanders. You will have time in the late game to level everybody up and catch up everybody, but also if you really want to level commanders, do guardians every day. Do not waste time, do them every day, and you will get free XP. Now for my next tip, one thing that I see often people do is waste their legendary commanders cultures on commanders that are either found in the golden keys or that are not someone that they will specialize in. It takes about 690 sculptures to expertise a commander completely. Waisangi is probably the most recommended and the best commander to expertise first. Once he is expertise, then you can spend your sculpture on other commanders. But I would never ever recommend spending them on all these kind of commanders because they are found in the golden key. And if you play this game for long enough, you will expertise them over time. The other commander that people sometimes expertise is Richard because he is a beast in first KVK. But he falls off quite quickly after KVK 1, so I decided to only make him 5-5-2-1 through only rolling the Wheel of Fortune. and I am not going to spend any more of these culture on him, at least until I have expertise my Waisangi. So once I have enough here, I will probably select a second commander to expertise. But never, ever, ever waste your sculptures on anything until you decide to expertise one guy. And if you split your sculptures between, let's say, 4 different legendaries, you will have 4 weak legendaries as opposed to one very strong legendary that is expertise. And one strong legendary will carry more weight and give you much more value than 4 weaker legendaries. So, yeah, do not waste your sculptures until you are expertising one legendary commander. Never spend them on anyone else, and I recommend you spend them all on Wai Sung Yi until he's expertised. Now, my last tip is about rallies and how you have to pay attention to the commanders leading them. Now, for example, if we have an infantry commander like Olji here, who has this talent right here, which says specifically that if the army led by this commander only contains infantry units, attack, health, and defense are all increased by 2.5%. Now, if one player joins this rally, led by this commander, and the same applies to any other infantry commanders, and he brings one archer or one cavalry unit, only one out of 1 million units, will completely negate this buff. This buff will not apply anymore. And it's not the only buff. So you've spent all these talent points, and the army will not have these bonuses at all because of one player bringing one unit that doesn't belong in here. Now, something similar applies to cavalry commanders. They don't have the exact same phrasing on their skills up here, but the march speed bonuses only work if the army is full cavalry. Same for this one. There's quite a few scattered around here. If you have anything else in your army than cavalry, these march speed bonuses will not work because the army and the entire rally of 1-2 million troops will take the speed of the slowest unit. So all of these movement speed buffs will be completely wasted. Again, same for archers. He has the exact same kind of talents as infantry. If anybody else brings anything else than archers, these skills will be completely wasted. And you go all the way down this tree to get these huge bonuses. If there's anything else in archers, or anything else in infantry, or anything else in cavalry in the rally led by specific commanders, you will end up having a very useless rally. It will not take in effect half of the skills that are primordial and very important for these armies. So be very careful. Pay attention to the commanders leading the armies. Pay attention. Now, the last tip I will give, which is a more basic tip, but it is a mistake that I see some people do sometimes, is never spend books of knowledge, tomes of knowledge, on any peacekeeper commanders. So that includes Lohar, that includes Boudica, that includes Aethelflaed, that includes Belisarius. It is very important that you do not spend these tomes of knowledge on these guys, because you will be using these guys all throughout your gameplay to fight barbarians, to fight marauders, to do special events, to do guardians. Now, if you waste these tome of knowledge on these guys, you will see, like, I have not spent a single tome on any of these guys, and they're all level 40, 49, 50. Now, by the time they get to level 60, they will be max on XP. Now, you will be basically killing barbarians way past them being level 60, but if you wasted tomes of knowledge, these tomes could have been applied to another commander, and they could have been leveled up naturally instead. So very important, do not waste your time on these peacekeeping commanders. Do not spend tome of knowledge on them. Just be patient, just let them level up. So be very careful when you level up commanders. Do not waste tomes, and make sure to prioritize the ones that you want to have as your frontliners and as your primary commanders. Thanks for watching, guys. We're going to come up with more of these kind of videos about tips. I want to get all the tips that I know out there for all the players to know, because there's a lot of intricacies in this game, and it is a complicated game. So stay tuned and subscribe to make sure that you don't miss these videos, because there's a lot of them coming out. Also, feel free to join us on our Discord and come and ask questions if you need any knowledge about the game. There's a few of us in Not Casuals that will be gladly wanting to help you, and we'll give you all the tips that we have.